Hey everyone, my name is Ethan. Today I'm going to show you my custom card set that I made of the 1977 Seattle Mariners, and this is a Seattle Mariners living set. And before I get into the cards, and I'll explain why I'm making these, give you a little backstory about the Mariners. Mariners are actually one of the youngest teams in the league, even though for most people they've been around most of their lives. I'm 41 years old and born in 1979, and the Mariners have been in Seattle for my whole life. But the only four expansion teams that are newer than the Mariners are the Diamondbacks, Marlins, Rays, and Rockies. And the Nationals moved from Montreal. So, although they're a new team in DC, they're not new to the league. And so the Mariners are actually one of the younger teams. So they came in 1977, and I'm from Seattle, and I've always been a massive Mariners fan. I live in Florida now, but I'm still a massive Mariners fan. And I wanted to make a card set of the Seattle Mariners with every player who has ever played on the team at least one game. So they have a stat that says they were made an appearance within that game. There's a lot of players that never got a baseball card with the Seattle Mariners. So what I want to do is make a living set. What I mean by that is like a set that continues on as the years go on. So all right, here I have 1977. I'm going to make 78 all the way up to 2020, and then when 2021 comes out, I'll make another set for all the 2021 players, and so on. That's called a living set. Topps actually has their own Topps living set online for purchase right now. So I'm making something in that vein, just for the Mariners. The design is the 1987 Topps wood design. It's a classic design in the height of the junk era, probably the most produced cards ever. Millions and millions of these types of cards were made. But I have fond memories of being a kid in our minivan with my dad opening boxes of 87 Topps looking for McGwire and Jose Canseco, rookies. So this has always been my kind of classic go-to design. So I'm going to make every single card for this Mariners living set in this design. And as you can see, the card number 1 is Rupert Jones. It's got the official Mariners kind of circular logo that they used at that time. He was an actual Topps All-Star Rookie Cup winner that year, so I put that on there. And I tried to use action shots, which are very hard to come by in 1977. In fact, in 1977, most of the Mariners Topps cards produced were airbrushed because they didn't have photos yet of players in their uniforms. So I had to go out and basically find as many photos as I could. And we'll get into that as I go through the set. So on the back, it's the white back, just like the 87 design. But the 87 design is, it's got a cardboard back, but the 87 Topps Tiffany has a white back. So I went with 87 Topps Tiffany because these are photo quality, photo printed cards. So I'm making these based off the 87 Topps Tiffany. As you can see, number 1, Rupert Jones, put the position, and then Seattle Mariners living set 1977. So when I get to 78, it'll be card number 43, and it'll say 78 here, and it'll have the logo, the uniform logo of that time, which I think stays the same this way until 1980-81. And then I put when they were with the Mariners, and then some stats for their career. So Rupert Jones was an All-Star in 77 and 82, World Series champion in 84, and then a little quick custom card set created by me, because I'm going to make some of these for gifts, but I'm not going to be selling these. So anyway, that's the, hopefully I'm getting that straight there. That's the Rupert Jones number 1, and I'll go through the rest fairly quickly. But what's interesting is I had to, see, here's another one, Leroy Stanton. And I tried to find some interesting stats. So some of these players didn't have any interesting stats. I just had to pick the best one they had. So this was AL Player of the Week in June of 75, Leroy Stanton. On this one, as you can see, a rookie card. What that means is that I made rookie cards for the player where it was their first year ever in the big leagues. So Enrique Romo played his first year ever in the big leagues in 1977. Gave him a rookie card. Diego Segui, Dan Meyer. Now, one of the things is, as I go along here and show you these, is I try to get the pictures from 1977. So some of these players played for the Mariners, like Bill Stein played for the Mariners from 77 to 80, but I wanted to take a picture from 1977, considering this is the 77 set. So I had to find the uniform that they only wore in 77. This is the road uniform that they only wore in 77. It got changed in 78. So it was hard to find photos of a player in that specific uniform. The other thing that was hard is finding action shots in color. So I have very few action shots from 77 in color. And even some of the normal pictures like this one, for example of Jose Baez rookie card, it's hard to find even just a color photo of some of these guys. First hit in Mariners history and of his whole career. He had 3 cousins who also played in the MLB. So I kind of try to put some really interesting facts on there. Here's Rick Honeycutt. If you're an A's fan, you know who this is. Rookie card, he was a Future Stars, so I got the Future Stars logo on there, just like the cards. He was an All-Star in 80, 83, won the World Series in 89. AL ERA leader in 83. Bill Laxton. I mean, some of these guys, Greg Rarity, with Seattle, it's only 77, pitched in only 5 games in Major League Baseball, all with Seattle. So this is the only card you'll ever see of this guy. Ever. And it was hard to find a picture of him, but there was one out there. Again, Joe List. This was another really hard to find photo. I had to search everywhere. He only played 9 games with Seattle. And there's actually a photo of him with a Mariners hat on somewhere out there in the archives of baseball history. This photo actually just kind of emerged from the Topps archives. Here's an action shot, Glenn Abbott with the 77 uniform. Tommy McMillan, this was another hard photo to find. Was hitless in the 2 games he ever played in Major League Baseball. First from Jacksonville. So here's Tommy McMillan, a photo of him in a Mariners uniform. He only ever actually played 2 games for the Mariners. In fact, I think this may have been taken in spring training at some point, but that guy never had a card. You know. And here's one. Ray Fosse played for the Mariners at the very end of his career. This is actually airbrushed on there. This isn't him in the uniform. And on the back of any cards that are airbrushed, it says photo airbrushed in red. And there's only 2 cards that I had to use the airbrush version of that don't have existing photos. And trust me, I've looked. So if you have photos of those guys in Mariners uniforms, you need to get those out into the public. We'll continue here. So there's a totally 44 cards, totaling 44 cards in the 1977 set. Some of these, like I think this photo was actually taken from the actual Topps baseball card. Some of those were easier to get than others. I'll just go through these. Julio Cruz, rookie card. Steve Burke. A lot of these names are unrecognizable. Even for me as a Mariners fan, I'm like, ooh. You know, for a lot of them. I mean, some of them I know. Julio Cruz is famous Mariner, but many of these guys are not. Here's another one. He only played 13 games in his career, all with the Mariners. Here's one that I had a tough photo finding of, Mike Kekich. This is actually him in a San Jose Missions minor league uniform, but they have the same hat as the Mariners and they have the same M. So I thought, well, it's the only photo I can find. It looks like he's on the Mariners. He basically is on the Mariners, just in a minor league capacity, so I'll use that photo. This guy has an unfortunate name for this day and age. I'm sure when he was born, Dick Pohl was not a uncommon name or something that was made fun of, but I'm sure it would be now. He surrendered Reggie Jackson's 300th career home run in 1977. Here's the only other airbrushed one is George Medic. This is an interesting guy here. His nickname was Doc because he became an actual medical doctor. So George Medic was George Doc Medic. Twice during his MLB career, he went into the stands to help save fans' lives. And then he had his medical license suspended in 2002, writing fake prescriptions. Interesting. Frank McCormick. And then manager, just like the 87 design of Daryl Johnson. And so I'm working on 78 right now. I've actually got all the fronts done, all the way through 81, 82. Now I have to do all the backs. I take the fronts and the backs and I print them on a special photo printer, and then I use some special glue from 3M that seals 2 sheets of paper together. And I cut them using a really high-end paper cutter, and it's got guidelines, so I make them perfect every time. And it's very labor intensive. Each card probably costs me $1 in supplies and ink. So these are super nice kind of custom cards, and I'm hoping to get all the way to 2020 here sometime in the next year, and then continue from there. But thanks for watching.